Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching, and a special shout out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to all of you who are celebrating or being celebrated Father's Day in the country that you reside in. I'm not recording this on Father's Day. I'm recording this on Saturday, the day before, just in case you're wondering. So if there isn't any crazy news that would break out in the meantime before this video hits your screens. However, of course, just like we did see some volatility with the conflict in the Middle East that does cause some disruption to the markets. We're going to talk about that and a whole bunch more. We're going to talk about the one chart to rule them all. What is the chart that I'm looking at that could hold the key for what we may see next in the stock markets? We're going to talk about that and a whole bunch more. Before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and to respond. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Smash that subscribe button and you'll get those daily updates. So of course we saw, before we actually go to the charts there, I want to take you to this from FX Evolution there. This is what has typically happened in the past to the S&P 500 after major conflicts have arisen. And as you can see, if you bought the invasion, historically, there you go. It's worked out pretty well there. Okay, so just some interesting. Now, of course, history doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes. So let's have a look at the SPY and what sort of a pullback we have seen so far. And then I'm going to take you to the chart that I think can unlock a lot of what may happen. Now, of course, first and foremost, we do have a red dot on the Tribal Trades indicator, which indicates a bearish reversal on the daily time frame. Now, these haven't always of late really lasted very long. This one lasted about 4 days, and then we popped back up, and then we saw a neutral zone bearish reversal, a couple of those, but not really. I really look for these red dots and the green dots. We don't have one there. So I'm generally been trading this S&P 500 on the weekly time frame, because you can see that one there is just a little bit more predictable. You can see we gave us that beautiful green dot around where we hit that low at about 481, and we don't have anything yet to show us that there is some kind of going to be some kind of a rollover. So wait and see what shakes out with that one on the SPY. So let's go back to the daily time frame there. So what are we looking at here? So I want to look at a couple of things. First of all, we're below the 9 EMA on the daily, and we saw that with Bitcoin in yesterday's video, how important it is to stay above there. Not so much as with the S&P 500. You can see there's been numerous times we had 3 closes below it, and it worked out okay, and we had a close below it over there. We're currently below it right now, but it's more the one below it, this lighter pink, the 20 EMA on the daily. And I want you to see what happens here when we actually break below that. As you can see, we came down, we retest above it here, and then down we go. We have a short push into it. That was like dead cat bounce, and we did get a close. That was a bit of a fake out, but we did get that red dot, and this is why the Tribal Trades indicator, one indicator to rule them all, would have helped you get out and go, well, that's a fake out. And of course, would have helped you get in there and make a little bit of profit to the upside. And then, of course, we don't get another green dot until we're all the way down here, which is where we got the weekly green dot as well, down near the high 400s. However, so we get that red dot to get us out of there. We did come back up again. And a few times we came up, retest. But look what happened when he broke through the 20 EMA on the daily. Out we go, a nice retest. We got one more, and then off we go. And of course, there was some moments that we came down into it, as you can see here, and got pretty close. Again, this would have been a nice little buy the dip opportunity into that 575 region. Now this is sitting right now at about 591. So that's going to be my line in the sand for the S&P 500. If we lose 591, then that's going to lead us to some more downside, and possibly will we get that red dot on the weekly time frame. If you look over the weekly charts, we don't have that at the moment. So you can see that's going to be my big line in the sand. That's going to make me think, okay, maybe we are in for a bigger issue there. Now, of course, as we've seen, there were opportunities where it retested a few times before it finally went down and had a bigger correction. So it could have a little bit more of a, and I'm not thinking that we're going to see what happened from February down to the April, I think it was the April lows there. I'm not thinking that we're going to see this kind of a crazy capitulation event that we saw here that came all the way down to the beginning of April. I would think we would create a lower high, and the obvious area would be at the 618, where also the 50-day moving average is at 562. That would be an area where I'd be looking at, and then also the 200-day moving average is sitting at 579 currently. So those will be the two, and of course, as always, you've got that 50-week moving average there sitting at around 574. So I think between that 562 level, which is the 618, you got the 565, which is the 50-day moving average, and between there 579, that would be an area there that I would be starting to look to get interested to see what the charts were saying, because particularly I feel like after you've got that red dot, how long will that play out? How many days will it take, and how deep will it go? And we might just come down to here, maybe wick below it. This is another possibility as well. Just we could wick below this low and then close back above it and then have a continuation onwards. So that's also some other things that I would be looking at there. Now, what would cause that to happen, and what is the chart that I was talking about that I think is going to be really important? It's the oil price, and I'll show you why. If you look at the weekly chart here, you can see that since we broke down from these highs, put in around early March, we have come in, and there it is, the tribal trades trend line. One trend line to rule them all. And what happened? We wicked against it. Oil wicked against it. It couldn't get above it. That line's currently sitting at about $76, and we're back down to about 73. We wicked against it. And so there are concerns that the price of oil, if we were to break above this trend line here, and of course, this is the 200-week moving average, and if we were to go above this, that's at $80, and that could signal inflation concerns. And suddenly, well, we've been talking about rate cuts, people will start talking about rate hikes again. And what that's going to do is is going to tighten the money supply, and this is what would cause the SPY to have a correction, in my opinion. That's why I'm looking at, keep an eye on the price of oil. And if we see and I'm on the weekly chart here, so we saw a weekly open and close above this area, and particularly a weekly open and close above 80, then we're starting to get now into the danger zone for that. Now, it's very interesting how the tribal trades indicator here actually predicted this move to the upside. Absolutely incredible. All the way back at the end of April, predicted this move to the upside there. And so, of course, we'll see what happens. Now, each time we've come up, and there were several times we just didn't get up there. We saw this red dot accurately pick the tops of this oil price here, there as well. So you can see how that works. Now, if you do want to get access to the tribal trades indicator, you can do so by being a member of the Tribal Trades Discord. Is it a paid indicator? It is not a free indicator. And there is a link below in the description. You might need to click the more button. That will pop out the description of this video, and it is the top link there. We are closing the Discord this month. It is an exclusive Discord, and it is going to be closing this month. I will put out a date letting you all know when that's going to happen. So if you're thinking of joining, this would be a good time to do it, to make sure that once it's closed, of course, there will be a wait list, but of course, then you're on the wait list and you have to wait. You don't get that immediate access that you will get when you sign up using the link below at the moment. So you can see the Tribal Trades indicator is there. You would click once you get access to the Discord, you get access to all these incredible channels here. There's the Tribal Trades indicator you get. And there, after you click on that, all the instructions are there on how to get access to that. Of course, we have the Life Changing Gains trading course, Trading University. We're up to lesson 8 now that has been loaded into there. There's a new lesson that goes into there every week to help you kind of supercharge your trading journey, experience, skills. And of course, I wanted to share a couple of stock plays that I shared, and this was incredible, defense related ones. You can see there, LMT4, these were the defense-related ones, 6 of them actually that I gave to everybody. I also gave Palantir, and then I gave Palantir again the next day. That was on the 11th of June, by the way, and then all of those stocks popped off, and there was a huge winning day in the Discord yesterday on Friday the 13th there. Absolutely incredible. I gave Tesla plays, Robinhood plays, HIMS plays, NVIDIA plays, Palantir plays there amongst others. And of course, we saw the defense related stocks, absolutely incredible. Palantir, when I gave it, was 458, 492, 142. You can see you'd taken these ones that I had shared here. They all went up nicely there. And this is all about taking the trade. You got to risk it for the biscuit. These just obvious setups for me. On the 11th, I gave these trades, and by the 13th, they had taken off like firecrackers there. I also then gave a trade on CEP. There was a green dot on the 5-minute chart at 35. I actually gave a target of 36. It exceeded that target and hit 38 before pulling back. And then all of our other targets there, the Tesla target that I gave at 11 went up all the way up to 13, and then the HIMS and the PLTU and the Hood trades all crushed there. I believe I gave HIMS $54, and that went up to 57. PLTU, I believe I gave it at 58. Was that at 58? And that went all the way up to 65. And then the Hood trade, gave that at Robinhood trade there. It was that we actually traded the ETF on that one. That was at 31, and that went all the way up to 34. That should actually say BN because we actually traded EF, which is the 2X ETF that you can trade, but you could have also taken that on the share. Definitely not holding over the weekend out of those trades. Great profits there had by all. So again, if you want to join the Tribal Trades Discord, the link below is in the description, and those stock plays are given every day, Monday to Friday, as are the crypto plays. And we have trading signals, spot the dot, which share when we see these wonderful reversals that we see here. We saw on the oil chart there, which has been absolutely fantastic. So we keep an eye on this oil chart, load it up into your charts. It's just USOIL, US oil, and we do not want to see these levels broken because that will, as we see the cost of gas and energy go up, because you might ask, well, why? Why will this cause more inflation? Well, a couple of reasons. One, people have to fill up their cars, and gas, of course, so the cost of traveling everywhere, the gas in airplanes and boats, and transportation costs go up, and then the cost of transporting those goods go up. So it costs a lot more to buy and purchase things because just things go up like that. So this is a real key area. As again, we've rejected there. We want to stay under this trend line to alleviate any fears of inflation. Of course, it's not always inflation itself. It's the fears of inflation, the fears that inflation may be spiking. And with that, I don't expect the Fed to lower or cut rates. I think they want to see what happens with this global conflict here. They're also waiting to see how the tariff war plays out as well. So even though inflation is cooling, I'm not sure that they are ready to cut rates just yet, and they will feel that they want more data, and they will want to see how this plays out to see if this really continues to spike the price of oil. Like January there, and remember what happened in January. We came up and hit there, and then what happened to the stock market? The stock market came down, and where did it bottom? Where the price of oil basically bottomed. And then of course we are now seeing the spike up, and we're seeing a little bit of a pullback in the stock, in the SPY. Not huge, by the way, nothing huge right now, we do have a little bit of a red dot, and generally that does take, usually I find those red dots on the daily usually take about a week to play out, but sometimes they can reverse fairly quickly. Like I said, this one only took a few days before it reversed. So, and obviously those, we can see a reversal based on some positive news that there is a ceasefire or there's peace in the region, and that the are continuing to be resolved. And we may not even get down to the 20 EMA on the daily there. But I think if there are fears here, like we see on this chart, we saw that move down from the S&P 500 as the oil prices spiked there. We're starting to see the same thing. So keep an eye on that chart. That is the one chart to rule them all. That's the chart to keep an eye on. And of course, the 20 EMA on the daily is the indicator to keep an eye on there as well. All right, that's all we have time for today. And of course, as always, until I see you in the next episode, or of course, until I see you in the Discord, happy trading. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads.